Apparently they are the Icing World finalists from the Philippines. And hey there, today is Monday, August 11th. It's about 20 minutes till 5 p.m. and the temperature is a rather hot 32 degrees Celsius, and it certainly feels a lot hotter than that. And I'm here at Nathan Phillips Square. I've got with me my trusty move-in mini fold-in e-bike, and I just pedaled down here from Midtown, not on the battery. And we're going to be going on a bit of an adventure. I'll be hopping on the e-bike and heading down to the waterfront. And then it'll be about 19 or 20 kilometers or so over to the city of Mississauga, or at least the border between Toronto and Mississauga. So let me get my other camera set up and ready to go. And I'll hop on the e-bike. And then we will head south down towards the lake. There's someone else with the same camera I'm using. Well, that took me a little longer to set things up than I'd have liked. I'm just going to head down Fred Flintstoning my bike here to Queen Street. It looks like a production has been set up. Starline Production Rentals. So I'll make a left on the Queen, and then we'll take Bay Street down to the waterfront. I think this ride will take about an hour in total. And my plan is to live stream the way back. That's Old City Hall on the left. The Monday early rush hour traffic isn't so bad, early afternoon. But we can take Bay, formerly Bear Street, a long time ago, straight down to the lake. And then it'll be west. Unfortunately, I'll be kind of riding towards the sun. It's still pretty high up. That'll be a good test of this camera's dynamic range. I'm not sure where I will finish up, either at Marie Curtis Park or the Long Branch Loop or somewhere around there. Then I think I'll live stream my way back to Midtown. This is Adelaide Street here. Yeah, we can make the light. It's been a while since I've recorded a video on the bike. I've been meaning to. This is Bay and King, pretty much the heart of the financial district. There's typically not a lot of vehicle traffic on King, as it's a designated transit priority corridor. And this building on the right, the tallest building in the country for not much longer, is where I used to work. No right turns 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. and there's someone in front trying to turn right. I just pointed at the sign to that lady. Sometimes there's so much going on in the way of visual clutter, it can be hard to pick those things up when you're driving. So I have a touch of sympathy for her, and they tend to put the hours in like a micro print. The text is usually really small in those no right turn signs. Now she's behind me in the lane on the left. I think that's her. Nope, not her. This will definitely be the slowest moving part of the ride. Once we get to the Martin Goodman Trail, I'll be taking that, with the exception of some residential detours throughout Etobicoke, pretty much all the way to Mississauga. This is Front Street. These vehicles are turning right, so I will slide left around them. There's a hazy looking CN Tower off to the right. But the heat this summer has been pretty relentless, and today is no exception. Wouldn't be Toronto without a driver stuck in the intersection. It's easy money for the city if they ever decided to do any actual traffic enforcement. Bank Arena is on the right. Gotta be careful here, make sure the door doesn't pop open. There really shouldn't be painted lines separating the bike lanes. It should be a curb or physical barrier. We're at Lakeshore Boulevard West, about to go underneath the crumbling Gardner Expressway. Why is that guy going so fast? Oh, they wanted to speed so they could not run the red light, break one law to avoid breaking another. Whatever gets them there fastest, I guess. This is Harbor Street. feels like there's a nice breeze blowing off the lake. One more set of lights to go after this, and we'll be moving pretty good. Straight ahead is Harbour Square Park, Weston Harbour Castle just on the left. And we're going to be going right. Right? That's weirdly said. And taking what's known as the Martin Goodman Trail. There's a speed limit of 20 kilometers. I'll try my best to stick to that. That's not applicable to bike lanes, but it is applicable to these absurd mixed-use trails. I've mentioned it before, but I'm of the opinion that mixed-use trails simply should not exist for the most part. At least not in dense areas. I think it's inherently stupid to mix pedestrians and cyclists, especially when there's a footpath right on the left. Makes sense in areas that are too narrow to have both, or low traffic enough to accommodate both at once, like in the suburbs. There's a view of the tower to the right. Apparently nobody knows what the bicycle signal is for. Harbourfront Center is on the left. 510 Spadina streetcar that'll be making its way to Union Station. On the left, HTO Park. On the right, the Sky Dome. I'd pan the camera over if I could. Are these people gonna look? Yep. It can be kind of chaotic riding along here when it's busy, particularly on the weekend when the weather's nice. But usually it's quite pleasant. That's a 509 Harborfront streetcar. And that is going to be a very busy streetcar route for 2.5 weeks starting Friday, as it terminates at Exhibition Place. And the Canadian National Exhibition will be underway. I'm planning on going there Friday. Oh, there's something photo-worthy. I haven't taken my e-scooter out yet this year. Seeing that girl just reminded me of it. Or my other e-bike. Or my other bike for that matter. I've just greatly preferred this bike to everything else. There's a stop sign nobody ever stops at. Wave to that garbage truck driver. Tie goes to the cyclist, I guess. That's why it's important to make eye contact. And make sure they see you. And now it's through Coronation Park, where I've got a couple of options here. I could head straight up to Lakeshore, or I could make a left and head through the park for a bit. Let's do that. I think it's the nicer option. A Canadian naval facility on the left. There's a couple of softball fields on the right. I used to play for an insurance league softball team, and we'd often come to Coronation Park. And we used to have to lug all the equipment from First Canadian Place to here, and we'd often take it on the streetcar. We'd walk it down to Union and hop on the 509. When I said couple, there's actually a trio of softball fields. But I think COVID killed that league, at least for a while. And I quit my job, so I haven't played softball since, unfortunately. There's the Prince's Gates on the right. That's where the C&E will be taking place. And we'll be riding by a crime scene pretty soon. Where the federal government, or not the federal government, the provincial government has grifted away Ontario Place to a private spa. You can still go to Trillium Park on the left. And look at that, a Ferris wheel up here as they're getting the C&E all in order. They got to get all the rides built and safety checked. Once again, I'm the only one, although can't really blame those people. There's no cars coming or going from that security site. And the light just started to change anyways. Last weekend, this stretch was the scene of Caravana. Not everyone has mastered the art of the courtesy ding when you're passing. Welcome to Ontario Place. What Ontario Place? You destroyed it and sold it for profit. And by profit, I mean private interest. The public is springing for a very expensive parking garage in what used to be kind of like an amusement park. There was a log flume ride, a big IMAX cinema. Sad what's happening to it. Yeah, get off the trail with that thing. And they used to hold the water show every year here on the left. There was a big grandstand. And just across that little waterway, there were for some rides and adventures to be had. The annual IndyCar race in Toronto is also held along this stretch. That was wide enough, no ding in order. Oh, she was carrying her doggy. What absolutely nice weather this is. If you're on a bike, there's a nice breeze, good sunshine. If I weren't whizzing through this, I think it would be kind of gross. We got a gaggle of geese. I do think the lighting would be a little better if I were going in the other direction. Setting up a slack line. It's a little late for that now. There's some people out on the water. People playing tennis, they ought to be working up a pretty good sweat. A long time ago, there used to be Sunnyside Amusement Park. That would be coming up just on the left here. The Boulevard Club on the left. kind of a prestigious waterfront club. And traffic eastbound into the city's core is not moving very well on the Gardiner. And this pedestrian bridge here on the right will take you over to the Parkdale neighborhood. There's the Palais Royal on the left. I don't know if they still use it as a concert venue. So getting home, I think I'm going to turn on a live stream and take city roads. Maybe I'll take Lakeshore to Islington or Kipling, or maybe Royal York up to Bloor. And I could just take Bloor pretty much most of the way over. I guess I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But what's great about this route is how little stopping I have to do. There's Sunnyside Gus Rider Pool on the left. Good to see the lifeguards. Didn't say it was too hot for them. That dude didn't even look if anyone was coming. Bike is still a little bit randomly creaky around the stem. Sometimes it goes away. I'm not really sure what the cause of it is. But we are almost at the Humber River, which means we'll be crossing over into Etobicoke, a former standalone municipality that merged with Toronto with the formation of the megacity in the late 90s. Let's hope this is a City of Toronto truck. Yep. And we're almost at the Humber Bay Arch Bridge. It'll be right around the corner here. Some people paddling around. And that's a look to the north. And the CN Tower in the financial district, right near where we started. That's enough dilly-dallying. And we are in Etobicoke. So we'll be going through this part of Mimico, then New Toronto, and then Long Branch. I've done this ride before on my scooter, and I took the GO train back to Toronto because it wouldn't have had the battery life to make it. But the great thing about this is it's a bike. I can just pedal. I remember meeting someone once who lived in these buildings on the right, and it felt like she lived in another universe. She lived here, worked in Etobicoke. It's not great to get here by transit. A lot of bike shares. We're going to be doing a combination of riding on Lakeshore and on some residential streets once we're through this stretch of Mimico. There'll be a two-way cycle track on the south side of Lakeshore. It's a butterfly sanctuary on the left. I think I'm over halfway there, I'm not really sure. I haven't had a chance to really look at my watch and get an update on the time. believe this is the Mimico Creek. All right, follow the signs. Trail, stay left. That I shall do. Perhaps they'll be more adventurous. I think I wanted to go right here and record a ride to Port Credit or Clarkson. Look how nice this is. Some marina on the left. Nice little park area. You can sit and watch the world go by. There may have been a sign to dismount. I don't recall taking this before. Yeah, that says pedestrians only. That was my bad. I must have missed the sign. I knew that felt wrong. At some point, we're going to make a right and head out to Lakeshore Boulevard. This is Mimico Waterfront Park. Amos Waits Park on the right. Big splash pad. And a public swimming pool, which doesn't seem to have anyone in it. There's a missing cat sign there. Nice sailboat. right, time to head over to Lakeshore. Some of the waterfront in Etobicoke is privately owned, which should never be a thing, but it is. So we can't just continuously take the waterfront all the way over to Marie Curtis. The signs there are pretty bad to let you know that this two-way cycle track is here. That guy's got a Camelback. Staying hydrated, which is smart. There's a 507 Long Branch streetcar. That one is only going to Humber. Get around this person. Lake Crescent. At some point in New Toronto coming up, we'll be making a left. And I think we'll be heading down towards Colonel Sam Smith Park, where you can get a rather spectacular view of the skyline. And we are riding directly into the sun. Good thing I got my shades on. There you go, left turn. And this bike shop is still here. Cycle Boutique, B-U-T-I-K. Now we just follow the signs and markings. Go right. Now it says to go left into the Prince of Wales Park. I'm just gonna snap a picture of that. That is beautiful. That's pretty much similar to the view at Colonel Sam Smith Park. Says keep left. Some beautiful homes here. Small town vibes. No exit. So the signage is really inconsistent. Sometimes the markings are on the street, and sometimes you gotta look at the street posts. Like there's an arrow on that sign ahead that says turn left. And now what? Go straight, turn right. I'm guessing this is the way. Looks like there's some construction going on down here. I'm guessing we would turn left here, but I don't see any markings or signs. Because you generally want to keep going west. There's one. Why the hell wasn't there one at that last intersection? There's another public pool. That one says turn left, and now we have a marking on the road itself. Detour notice. Got a number of options here. Shared trail, open evenings and weekends. So there's a blockage straight ahead, but I guess this counts as evening. Oh, we can't go that way. I don't think that's going to impact us then. Just enjoy the breeze. And we are already at Colonel Sam Smith Park. That's the old insane asylum on the right. or the loony bin as folks would call it. I think we could use something like that today, obviously a more compassionate version. But it's since been converted into a Humber College campus. They also filmed part of Police Academy around here. Hey, that guy was wearing a Chang tank top. Awesome. Didn't want to pass that guy with the blind corner up ahead. Oh, you got a really nice breeze right now. I tried to ring my bell and failed. I tried to just gently flick it to give a very nice little ding, and I whiffed. All right, so we should be in Long Branch now, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think we're very far at all from Marie Curtis Park. That's 25th Street. The streets are sequential. This is 27th. Just take it well wide of them. Well, it's going to be a very different ride going back to Toronto. Hey, a stop sign. And the smell of manure is in the air, or some pretty gnarly fertilizer. That's Long Branch Park on the left. This is the very western, southwestern part of Toronto. That nasty smell must have been coming off the water. Some nice spots to sit. These nice big willow trees. That is Len Ford Park. That is gorgeous. 36th Street. We are almost there. Some of these lucky properties on the left back onto the lake. That marking on the road said straight, but what you want to do is turn left. Look at that big property. "38th Street Park" on the left. Hey, I see an ice cream truck. How nice would that be? Here's some people coming back from the beach. That bike sign says right, but Waterfront Trail sign said go straight. I think that's the trail on the right there. But we can take a peek at the beach. All right, so I believe what I want to do here is follow this trail. We'll just cross over into Mississauga. Smells like barbecue. We got caution tape around a lot of these trees. Someone fishing down there. I don't know how well I'm doing showing you what a creek looks like here, but we're gonna get moving. I believe we may have just entered Mississauga when I crossed that creek. The city where I grew up. in this trail will take us through a wooded section in a place where there were some police training barracks. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Beach volleyball action. Looks like there's a future expansion coming up on the left. This is that wooded part I was talking about. So we'll just take this down the lakeshore and we'll wrap this up. I'll try to get the streaming setup going and I'll live stream my ride back home. I've been pedaling a lot and I've still got a full battery according to this, which means realistically it's probably around 80%. Definitely glad I have my shades on. There's some bugs bouncing off my face. Behold, Mississauga. That would have been a nice place to set up. Hey, there's some, well, there's a bench, there's some share scooters, but there was a girl there. I didn't want to seem like a creeper. Port Credit Busker Fest coming soon, but there we go. We have arrived in Mississauga. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support what I do, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I've got an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. And I'll be riding Lakeshore here for the way back. There's also some links to crypto if you want to be so kind and send me some BTC or F, but either way, ETH, F, I don't know. Either way, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next one. Yoink. There's that button.